Well, hello and welcome to Monson Madethis. My name is Michael and I cook vegan food. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the subscribe button below. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and you can also join this channel if you would like. That way you have access to all of the Monson Ate This videos. You'll get recipe PDFs after each recipe video comes out, and you'll also get a thank you, which is what you'll see at the end of this video. Today I'm making something that's kind of highly requested. I am making another sushi video. A couple of my most popular videos on this channel have been sushi videos, and my most recent video, which was for a watermelon, it was basically a bunch of recipes that used watermelon instead of tomato. And in that video, I said that I was going to show you all how to use watermelon rind. One of the ways that I've used watermelon rind is to make dog treats, which do your own research, check with your vet, or test it with your dog to see if your dog is okay. But basically throwing these bits of watermelon rind, maybe even like this size, into the food or into the dehydrator, you get these little like kind of what I'm calling vegan pig ears. And my pup loves them. He seems to be doing okay with them, so I will continue to give those to him. The only reason I'm being kind of cautious is that I did some Googling about watermelon rind in dogs, said that it could cause some little gastro upsetness. So if your dog has any issues with it, obviously discontinue feeding it, but my pup seems to be doing okay with them. So the other recipe is going to be for this sushi, which is a kind of a Yard House. If anyone's ever been to the Yard House restaurant, their sushi is in stack form. So I'm going to be turning this watermelon rind into kind of a spicy tuna, in quotes. And it's going to be a part of this stack. We're going to marinate this watermelon rind. We'll cube it up here in a second. We'll marinate the watermelon rind, mix it with some spicy vegan mayo, put it in a stack with some avocado, a little bit of edamame, and it's going to serve this really incredible, it's not going to taste exactly like tuna, it's not going to eat exactly like tuna, but it will give you the sort of experience of having like a sushi spicy tuna. So I've got these rinds cut up into strips. I'm going to cut those strips into little cubes. And if you can see, there's just like a little bit of the blush color from the flesh of the watermelon still here. That's okay. I did make sure with my little vegetable peeler here that there weren't any pieces of the green skin on the outside. So I went and just trimmed that off to make sure that there's not going to be any bites that I can't chew through. These are somewhere between like a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch cubes. And these are just going to go into a bowl, and I'm going to season it with some Bragg's liquid aminos, some sesame oil, a little bit of rice wine vinegar. And honestly, like, you could essentially make the sushi stacks right away. I think it's a little bit better if you let it go overnight, which is what I have done. But if you're in kind of a hurry and you've got a watermelon sitting in your fridge and you want to make this immediately, then I would say maybe like 5 or 10 minutes would be good. So watermelon rind, chopped up, kind of like this little, it's like a celadon color. So I'm going to add some Bragg's liquid aminos. For the like 1/8 of a watermelon amount that I'm using here, you need about 2 teaspoons of the liquid aminos, about 2 teaspoons of rice wine vinegar. The thing that's going to kind of serve the, why did serve go in quotes? I think it's going to kind of serve the like fishiness of it is dulse. I don't know if anyone's out there has used dulse. It's essentially a sea seasoning. So it's kind of a seaweed in like a granular form. And I'm using a little bit of that. It's also the salt. It's got just a really great flavor, but it's going to be just giving us a slight kind of seafood flavor. If you don't have that, don't want to buy it, don't worry about it. It's not like overpowering. You're not eating it like, oh my God, this is so fishy. It just adds like, I don't know if brininess is the right word. It adds a little something special to it. So got this all mixed together. The last thing is a bit of sesame oil, and I think this really drives the sushi experience home. And I wait until after I've already put the vinegar and liquid aminos, which is essentially like a soy sauce. I wait until after those have been on so they can go and soak up into the watermelon a little bit before I add the oil. All right, so like I said, you could use it right now as it is, maybe wait like 5 or 10 minutes, or you could put it in the fridge overnight, which is what I have here. They don't look much different. They've released a little bit of liquid, and we don't really want a ton of that in our sushi stack, but I'll give it a taste here. It's so good. Again, you're not gonna fool anybody into being like, oh my God, is that really tuna? It just has that same experience and essence. The texture is similar to, I don't know, it's kind of like an apple texture, maybe a little bit less firm than an apple. I don't know, I think it's so good. Move things around here. I've already cooked some rice here in my rice cooker, and so we are going to season this rice a little bit with some seasoned sushi vinegar. I'm only gonna be making one stack on video here today, so I don't need too much rice. I need about half, 3/4 of a cup for one stack. And you'll probably get 2 stacks out of the 1/8 of a watermelon. This cool little bowl here from my friend Jennifer. I've got mayo, sriracha, and a little bit of sweet chili sauce in here. So I'm just gonna mix that together. Why did I jump from this to this? Okay, sushi rice. Rice and seasoned rice wine vinegar. You could make your own. It's basically just rice wine vinegar with a bit of salt and sugar added to it. Mix this up. All right, so this is gonna be the bottom layer of the stack. I have my plate that I'm gonna be using here, and I have this little ring, which, I don't know, I bought a set of these rings a long time ago. It's from Oneida. You can find these at kitchen stores. You can find these pretty much anywhere that has kind of kitchen accessories. You could probably also use, if you had like a larger aluminum can, just cut off the top and the bottom, or you could just do it freeform. So, because the base of this is going to be the rice, I'm gonna put a bit of the rice in this mold and pack it down a little bit just so it holds its shape. All right, a little bit extra there, it's fine, I'll use it later. The next layer is going to be the tuna watermelon rind. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this into a bowl, trying not to get much of the extra liquid. And then I'm going to add my spicy sriracha mayo to it. If you didn't want to add the spicy sriracha mayo, you didn't want to use mayo at all, you could definitely skip it. It's good without it. Couple videos ago, I made some really incredible cold salads using a tofu-based dressing. You could easily just add the sriracha to that, and I think you would have a really great dish also. That's it. Put this right on top of the rice. Oh no, my plate. We'll clean it up later. I'll clean it up later. So putting this into the mold. Maybe I have too many. All right, and I know what you're thinking. Wait, is that it? Those are the only 2 things you're putting on there? No, I'm actually going to be putting, pardon me, I gotta grab a towel. I'm actually gonna be putting some avocado and edamame on top. So what I do with this mold is shimmy it up just a little bit. So you can see the rice is perfectly molded under there. And I'm gonna shimmy it up a little bit so that I now have enough room to add my avocado and edamame. So grabbing another little bowl from my friend Jennifer, and I have some avocados here. I went to Sprouts today to get avocados and they weren't ripe, so I had to go somewhere else. But if you buy avocados that aren't ripe, you put them in a paper bag, set them on the counter, and usually in like a day or two, they're ready to go. Now, once they are ripe, you need to be, there's all these memes online about what do I keep saying? All these memes online about avocados, not ripe, not ripe, not ripe, then too ripe, and I get it. But I think if you handle your avocado properly, it's gonna last for a long time. And by properly, I mean if you take your avocado that's not ripe, put it into a bag until it is ripe, and the second it is ripe, the second it's soft enough to use, throw it in the fridge. So it's still fully in its skin, but throw it into the fridge. I'm gonna add a little bit of, let's use the seasoned vinegar. Throw it into the fridge fully whole, and it's going to stay in there. I want to say for like even like up to a week or so, fully ripe. This is not the right tool for the job. Gotta step away for one more second. These one-take videos are a trip trying to make sure that I have everything I need for a multi-step recipe all here at one time. But anyways, the avocado is gonna last a lot longer in the fridge once it's ripe, because once it's in the fridge, it's not going to ripen up any longer or ripen up anymore. So you wanna get it to the perfect ripeness before you put it in the fridge, and then the fridge gonna hold it at that temperature. All right, so I've got the avocado in here, mashed up with a little bit of seasoned rice vinegar, and then I'm adding edamame. Edamame is for a couple reasons. One of the main reasons, and this is just frozen edamame that I've thawed out. One of the reasons is for the flavor, the texture. It's great. Beautiful green color, goes along with the avocado. Another reason is that this dish, we've got rice, we've got watermelon rind. We don't have a ton, really, like intentional protein in this. It's all very just kind of carbohydrate based, which is fine. But I think that I get a little bit more satisfied from my meals when there is some protein in it. So by adding the edamame, it just helps to add a little bit more protein and satiety to the dish. All right. Set that aside. We're pretty much ready to unveil this, even though I made a bit of a mess. Let me, I'll just use this towel. I'll be the one eating it. Clean up around any mess that I made. All right, time for the unveiling. Not bad, right? I'll give you a closer view in just a second. Just because I like the color, I'm using black sesame seeds. And even though there is a little bit of the dulse, the seaweed, in with the watermelon, we do want to add a little bit of nori because sushi does have nori. And for that, I'm just gonna cut a strip of nori. And I want smaller bits than that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go over the top and thinly slice these bits of nori. And it's gonna give just enough nori seaweed flavor that's gonna sell the full sushi experience. But I don't know, Ben, who's normally behind the camera, doesn't really like nori. So he's always wanting me to make sushi without it. So if you're a person who likes the sushi concept but doesn't really love the nori seaweed experience of it, don't add it. All right, so let me come up close to the camera. Here we have it. Let's see if I can get it in focus. And here we have it, probably a little bit blown out from the light, but you'll see it on Instagram, Monson made this, and also in the thumbnail. But isn't this great? We've reused watermelon rind to create a sushi stack let's go ahead and give this a taste. I'll just use my avocado fork. Super easy. We save something from going into the garbage or the compost. I love this dish so much. It's so cool, so unexpected. Whoever you serve this to isn't gonna be able to really clock it as, wait, is this watermelon rind? All right, I'm gonna stop eating this now because I'll be devouring the rest of this in my Monsonmadethis video, which you get by joining, or you can go to Patreon as well. All the links for that are below. That's all I have for you today. I'm gonna eat, clean up my mess here, and I'll be back with another recipe video next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.